Hello friends, welcome back to another vlog. If you're new here, my name is Rachel Terry. I am the author of one young adult fantasy book, Lightbringer. It is currently up for pre-order on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, various other retailers, and it comes out May 9th. If you're interested, links will be in the description box down below. I don't know how the lighting for this is going to be. It's pretty gloomy outside. We are having rain. We were supposed to be having storms, but luckily we dodged that bullet again. Much like the last one, only it wasn't even as bad as that, so that's very nice. Yesterday was even nicer because it was warm, I had the windows open, and you know I really love to do that, so it was really nice. Unfortunately, that can't happen today. It's cooling off out there, and I don't know when the next day will be where I can open the windows, but hopefully it will be soon. Update on what I talked about in the last vlog. So, I talked about my ears and my earrings giving me problems. So I decided to attempt to leave them out again, but I decided to do it during the day instead of overnight so that I could keep an eye on them, and it was a good thing that I did. I didn't even make it to 4 hours again. When I went to check on them and reinsert an earring just to make sure that everything was okay, it was, again, extremely difficult to do. It hurt a great deal, and I managed it, but it caused some bleeding again in the problem ear, so I really don't know what's going on with that. I don't think a 6-month-old piercing should be trying to close up that quickly, but here we are. I tried to call my piercer multiple times so far to kind of get answers, but nobody's answering, so I'm going to do that again sometime here soon at a different time and hopefully get a hold of somebody, but worst case scenario, I guess I would just have to physically drive there. It's quite a long way to go because I live out in the middle of nowhere, and I wasn't going to go just anywhere to get my ears pierced like I did last time, so it's quite a ways away, but at least if I go there in person, my piercer can look at it and tell me what she thinks, and I can buy some more of their jewelry while I'm there because at least it seems to work. My ears don't seem to have a problem with it. That's what I have in right now, the little blue studs that I was pierced with. I just don't know what to do. I don't know if I need to leave them in for an additional 8 weeks, another span of healing time, or if I need to leave these studs in for the next 6 months. I really don't know. So hopefully I can get some answers for that very soon. Again, I don't really want to give up on these because if I didn't want them, I wouldn't have done it. I've got all these earrings that I bought, excited to wear them, and if I give up, obviously I can't wear any of them, and I really just want to be able to wear some of my dangles. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm currently reading through Guardians Duology Book 2. I need to check for typos, and then if I end up adding anything, that will change the formatting amount. I think I talked about this last time. I did start doing that. I think I'm on chapter 9 or 8, and it's going really well so far. I have found some typos. It's amazing how they just managed to slip in there, but hopefully we can find them all. And then once that's done, I need to format the ebook version, and then I need to format the hardcover versions for both Book 2 and Lightbringer, and then I can send all of that information off to my cover designer so she can start work on that. We've planned for May to begin work on the cover of Book 2, so I need to have it done by then. I still have plenty of time in April to get it done, but I feel like this is already taking longer than I would like. That's part of my plan for the rest of today. I'm going to go back and read more of that. I also am reading a book right now. It was the Broken Blade, which is one of the books that I picked up when I went to the bookstore and decided to take a chance on. So I'm reading that right now. I've probably got 2 more days worth of that, and then I'm going to move on to the next fantasy book. I've also got some nonfiction books on writing and publishing, and I'm onto the marketing ones, which I think would be quite helpful. So I need to read those at some point, but I don't know when because what even is time? I also need to keep up with my classes in the Publish and Thrive course that I'm enrolled in, which I have really fallen off on, and I'm not finding the time to watch any of them, so it's nice. It's a big time commitment to sit down and force yourself to watch something, so I'll get that done at some point, but when, I don't know. The other big news is that I now have a weather system installed at my house here. So I should have really filmed the installation part yesterday, but I didn't. It was windy outside and I didn't really want to try to mess with the camera and film things, so I'm really bad about that kind of thing, but I am super excited. I'm super happy. I love it. I think it's adorable. I'll show you some clips of it. But yeah, it was really easy to install. For those curious, it is the Tempest weather system by Weatherflow, I believe. And It was really easy to set up. I bought the universal mount that goes with it, but you can mount it on something flat if you'd like. There's plenty of information on their website about sighting it and mounting it and all that stuff, but I just decided to buy the universal mount and stick it on the corner of our deck, and it's working wonderfully. It's picking up lots of data, and it's really a question of how much weather do you want. If you love weather like me, this is something that you'd probably be really interested in. If you don't care, I'm sorry. It does give you a lot of data. It measures pressure, it measures wind speed, temperature, rainfall, dew point, lightning. So, and then it keeps records of all those things over time. So it's really detailed. But yeah, I'm just thrilled to have it. I wanted to get it up yesterday before the storms that were supposed to come in rolled through, thinking that this would be like a great chance to test it out, and I wanted to see what kind of wind gusts we were going to get, but we really didn't get anything. Go figure. I wish I had it out during the last storms that came through, because we had some pretty strong wind gusts. That was about it, but it'll happen. It's spring. Welcome to spring, and I live in the Midwest, so it's going to be volatile weather-wise, and it's going to get a chance to really pick up some things and work with it. But I tried to install it completely by myself. I took out the universal mount yesterday and read the instructions such as they were, and it really wasn't that difficult. I started assembling it. I hooked up the system itself to the internet and downloaded the app and got all of that set up, and then it was just a matter of drilling into the deck to mount the pole mount. That proved a little bit more difficult. I have never used a drill in my life, and I got the drill out yesterday. I was really, ready to go, and I thought it was going pretty well, but I could not get the drill to drill into the deck. And apparently the reason for that is that I didn't realize that drill bits go both ways. They go forward and reverse, and I think I had the drill in reverse. And I didn't realize that, and I didn't know how to fix it. So if I'd had it going forward, obviously it would have drilled into the wood much better. So regardless, that was a little anticlimactic, but I knew when to admit that I was out of my depth, so I just waited until my mom came home and she helped me drill the holes in the deck, and then it was just a matter of completing the setup, which I had already begun, and ta-da, it's done. It was very simple all in all, and I'm very happy with the kind of information that I'm getting. So that's the plan for today. It's nasty weather outside. I'm getting all this data from the little thing out there. It reminds me of a flashlight. I'm going to try to get more of my book read that I'm reading, and also the one that I wrote, Guardians Duology Book 2, and yeah, it's just a cozy kind of relaxing day I have planned. We'll go with that. The lighting's a bit iffy with the window there, but I just got up from downstairs in the basement. I was going to work out on the treadmill and it will not start, and I don't know why. We did have a power surge here yesterday, so I don't know, that could be it. Either way, it does not bode well. It is a very old treadmill, but it's disappointing because I couldn't figure out how to get it to start up again. I flipped the switch back and forth. Didn't work, unplugged it, replugged it back in, still didn't work, so that's not really a good sign, but it's kind of how this day is going so far. See if that helps the lighting at all. Not really. Whatever, we'll just go with it. So yeah, there's just a few things that I wanted to hop on and update you guys about. I don't think I mentioned it. If I did, I'll just cut this clip, but I did get a hold of my piercer regarding my ears, which I talked about in my previous vlog, just for those who are curious, who are now following the saga. I think it's funny that ever since I mentioned it, I had people reach out to me and say, here's my experience, here's what I did, here's how I fixed it, and I just think that's really interesting that so many people did have problems with their piercings, and especially in this case because it's just a lobe. The lobes are supposed to heal really easy, and me having these problems, it's kind of like, what is wrong here? So it's reassuring in a way. But anyway, I did get a hold of my piercer. She said basically to do what I'm doing now. I have these studs that I was pierced with put back in. She said to leave those for an additional 6 weeks. I might go another 8, which would put me at the end of May before I can change them again. But it is what it is. So far, everything is fine. They're not hurting. I don't know what these earrings are made out of, but they seem able to tolerate them. And yeah, I don't know. It was weird. Like, my ears will tolerate these earrings, but they were really cheap. Like, they were included with the price of the piercing itself. So I don't know what these earrings are made out of, but they can't have been that expensive. And yet you have earrings online that are more expensive that are supposed to be made of good quality material, and then they cause problems. And another thing that frustrates me about all of this is that you can't tell what an earring is made out of. Like, a seller can say online it's made out of titanium, but you don't know that. So it's just interesting, I guess. But there's the update on that. My proof copy that I ordered from Ingram Spark has shipped. It hasn't gotten here yet. When it does, I'll be sure to show you guys. I'm pretty sure Ingram doesn't put the band on their proof copies like Amazon does with theirs. So it'll be nice to have a proof copy that doesn't have this band across it. It's basically an author copy at that point. The thing that concerns me about this is that when I uploaded my revised files to both Amazon and Ingram, I did that with over a month in advance. Hello. I did that with over a month left to spare before the book actually comes out, because I've heard that Ingram is very slow and you wanted to give yourself at least that much time, so I did. The problem is that if I got my proof copy and there was something absolutely drastic that needed to be changed, by the time it gets here, I don't think that I would have enough time. At least I wouldn't be able to say with any amount of confidence that this revised version is the one that would go out to readers when the release date arrives, just because Ingram is so slow. So that's a little concerning. I really don't anticipate anything going wrong at this point. If there are typos, I mean, I don't think that there will be, but I know better than to say that there won't, because typos happen in a lot of books, be they self-published or tradpub. They just slip through there, and it doesn't seem to matter how many eyes you have on a book, there will be typos in some. So long as it's nothing egregious and there's not a lot of them, I don't think people really care. But obviously I'd like there to be no typos whatsoever, and if there are, I didn't see them, and neither did anybody else, so neither did any of our proofreaders. I'm thinking about doing an ARC sign-up sheet for this, probably sometime soon. I can't say exactly when. I feel like I've got a ton of stuff that's taking my attention. I'm trying to continue to market Lightbringer and try to get word out there about it before the release date hits. And my job, obviously, and then trying to set up all this other stuff. I'm learning a lot. I'm trying to learn marketing and just trying to do the research on that and take these classes that I'm signed up for. It's a lot. And this is just one of those days where I'm really feeling the stress. I'm happy that it's nice outside. Weather-wise, we can have the windows open. So it's always a nice day whenever you can do that. And the rest of this week looks pretty nice up until Saturday. It's going to rain. I hope it rains. I really do hope it rains on Saturday. But it's all just a lot. And today I'm really feeling it. I also didn't help that I DNF'd a book at probably like 80% or thereabouts. And it was not a short book, and it's frustrating. I really do think that a lot of books that are that long oftentimes don't have the plot to support that kind of length. And the book just wasn't good. I don't like DNFing it so late, but it's like, I don't like it, and I'm not enjoying it. And if I continue to force myself to read just to finish it, I mean, I'm not having a good time. The book is just not good, so I DNF'd it, and I'm not happy about it. I wish the book was good, but it just got progressively worse as it went on. And I also wish that I could talk about it in a video. Bless you, Crinkles. I also wish I could talk about it, but I don't think that I can. Maybe I'll make a separate video on this issue, but if you've been around on my channel a while, you know that I did book reviews. I built the majority of the following around my channel based around book reviews, and there's this belief, I suppose, that goes around that if you're an author, you shouldn't review books because it's unprofessional, it's tacky, and if you happen to review books that are in the same genre as your own, it can be viewed as you attacking an author and a book that you view as being competition for your own. Obviously, I'm not doing that. That's not why I do any of this. I genuinely want to talk about it simply because, for one thing, I don't want people to buy bad books. And again, this is all subjective, but I don't want people to waste money on books that are not well written. Because I did. I bought this book and I didn't like it, and it was expensive, and it's self-published, and I wish I hadn't bought it. So I wouldn't want anybody else to fall into that. I don't want anybody to waste money. I don't want anybody to buy a book that they end up not liking. So that's mostly the main reason that I did my reviews in the first place, is because I wanted to help people introduce them to books that I think are good, that they might like, or to help them figure out which books they might want to avoid. And I think that I accomplished that. I got some comments to that effect, and it really made me happy to see those comments because that's exactly what I intended with those videos. On the other hand, I want to talk about it as well because I want to help writers avoid certain things, like don't do something this way because it's not well done or whatever. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect, far from it. There are going to be people that don't like my books when they come out, and that's perfectly fine. If anything, this book has really driven home to me that you can write something that is completely derivative, completely unoriginal, rips off everything that is original, and offers nothing new, all while doing it with poor writing, and there will be people who will love your book. Lots of people, actually. It's kind of insane. And it just, I don't know how I feel about it. On the one hand, it's kind of discouraging that something that derivative and unoriginal that rips off other things so blatantly, people like that. That's kind of disheartening on the one hand. On the other hand, it means that you can write garbage, basically, and people will still love it. So if you do write something that's genuinely good, then logically people should love it all the more, but whatever. It's disappointing, and hopefully the next book will be better. It's funny because sometimes when I'm reading a book, I find myself thinking, I wish this book would just be over with so that I can move on to this other book that I have lined up that I'm more excited about. And yet inevitably when I think that to myself, the next book that I move on to is worse than the one I was so eager to leave, and that's exactly what happened in this book. And Crinkles is meowing over there. I think he wants out, so I will go let him out. I don't know if I will have any more updates for you, but if not, then I will just end the vlog here, and thank you for watching. But yeah, one more quick thing. If you would like me to make a video discussing this topic about should authors review books or not, let me know in the comments below if that's something that you want me to do, and also let me know your personal thoughts on it. I very much would like to hear them, because the way I look at it as like writers, authors are readers first. You have to read lots of books in order to be a good writer. So you're a reader before you're a writer, and you'd like to think that the fact that you are a writer would make you think more critically about books and the way they're written, and you could maybe use that knowledge to help other people. I mean, I get both sides of the argument. I just wonder how many people really think that way. And I'm just curious. I do fully intend to still review books that I enjoy, because I see there's absolutely zero conflict there. You have an author supporting fellow authors, so that's always a good thing. But as far as more critical reviews, which are far easier to do and probably more entertaining for the viewer, I don't know what the future will be regarding that. But let me know in the comments down below what you think. I am very eager to hear it.
What?